Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the online class of Biology for Engineering. In our last session, we were talking about the topics in Unit 3, that is Genetics and Evolution. We shall continue the next topic in this Unit 3, Genetics and Evolution. The next topic what we are going to study in the Unit 3 is Theories of Evolution and Evidences. In this topic, we are going to talk about 3 theories here. The first theory is about the Lamarck theory, and the second one is theory of natural selection, and the third one is modern synthetic theory. So in this topic, theories of evolution and evidences, we'll talk about this 3 theories that explains about the origin of life on earth, that is nothing but the evolution, and it also tells about the evidences or the proof related to the evolution of life or the origin of life on earth. So we'll see about the first theory, that is Lamarck theory. All the various theories have proposed regarding the origin of life or the changes in the organisms or the development of new species. The most important theory were postulated by Lamarck, nothing but the Lamarckism. Lamarck theory, nothing but Lamarckism. This is the most important theory which is proposed by the Lamarck, and it is telling us about the origin of life on earth or the changes in the organisms or the development of new species, new organisms, how they are developed. So this theory of Lamarck, a famous scientist, French scientist, Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck, he has proposed this theory, that is Lamarckism. This theory will deals with the influence of the environment on organisms, use and disuse of organs, and inheritance of acquired characters. Lamarck theory can be explained in this following 3 points. First one, effect of the environment. Whenever some changes is occurring in the environment in which the organism is living, the changes in environment like change in temperature or light or availability of food, these changes in the environment will bring about some modifications in the behavior of organism. These modifications will help the organisms to adapt better to the changed environment for better survival. So some changes are occurring or modifications are occurring in the behavior of the organism due to the changes occurring in the environment in which the organism is living, which helps the organism to adapt better to the changed environment. So this is about the effect of the environment. Next we have use and disuse of organs. According to Lamarck, whenever the environment of certain organisms, related to certain organism, is undergoing some changes, then due to environmental changes, organisms will use certain organs more and put the other organs to disuse. So continuous use of organs can lead to the organ becoming efficient. So continuous use of organs will lead to the organ becoming more efficient in its functioning. Example, the organs that are used more will increase in size, and the organs that are not used continuously will degenerate or reduce its size, and they will finally disappear. So these characters that are developed during the lifetime of an organism, we are calling that as acquired characters. So these characters that are developed during the lifetime of an individual organism are nothing but the acquired character. Inheritance of acquired character. These acquired characters will be passed on to the next generation, that is inherited, transmitted to the next generation. This is about the inheritance of acquired characters. New characters will be added to the every generation, which get passed on to the next generation. So thus new species will be having some modified characters, and the new species will be evolved with some modified characters. New organisms will be developed or evolved with more modified characters because of the transmission of the acquired characters through inheritance. Nothing but transmitted or transferred from one generation to the next generation, passed on to the next generation. Characters are passed on to the next generations. The acquired characters will be passed on to the next generation. That is nothing but the inheritance of acquired characters. So Lamarck theory can be explained by this 3 points, that is effect of the environment, use and disuse of organs. The organs that are used more will increase in size, and those not used continuously will disappear or degenerate. This is about the Lamarck theory. Then we have evidence in favor of Lamarckism. The proof which is favoring the Lamarck theory, Lamarckism. You can see here elongation of neck and forelimbs in giraffe. Lamarck, he has proposed this elongation of this long neck in giraffe. He said that giraffe were evolved from the deer-like ancestors. As you can see here, the original short neck ancestor. Keep stretching neck to reach leaves higher up a tree, because the trees were taller and there were no trees near the ground, because the ground vegetation was absent, not found, and only the taller trees were present. So they had to stretch their necks to feed on the trees, to reach up the leaves of the tree. That was the only source of food for them. So this stretching of neck resulted in the increase in the length of the neck of giraffe. This is about stretching until neck becomes progressively longer. So due to absence of ground vegetation, or the trees near the ground were absent, there were only the higher trees were present. So they need to stretch their necks to feed on the leaves of the trees, which was the only source of food for them. So this stretching resulted in increase of the length of the neck of giraffe. So this is the acquired character in the giraffe that is transmitted to the next generation. So this is the evidence or the proof in favor of Lamarckism, evolution of long neck in giraffe. This is the diagrammatic representation of evolution of long neck in giraffe. Next evolution in favor of Lamarckism is invasion of ducks and aquatic birds from land to water. Due to scarcity of food on land and lack of ability to fly, the birds, they started to enter the water, invade the water, enter the water, and stretch their toes for swimming in water. This is the new character what they are developing, and this will be transmitted, this character will be transmitted to the next generation. So this is about the inheritance of acquired character, which is giving us the proof or the evidence. All these are the evidence in favor of Lamarckism. We are talking about the evidence in favor of Lamarckism. First was evolution of long neck in giraffe. Next is, all these are also the evidence in favor of Lamarckism. Eyes of the deep sea flat fishes. The deep sea fishes, they will only live in the bottom of the sea, so that they will be lying on one side of the body and the eyes will lie towards the bottom. The eyes that are lying towards the bottom will be moving towards the upper side. So both the eyes will lie on one side of the body. This is the characters which we are seeing in the deep sea flat fishes, eyes of the deep sea flat fishes. Then hind limbs of whales. The whales have lost their hind limbs due to its disuse. This is also the evidence in favor of Lamarckism. Long necks in wading birds. The wading birds are nothing but the shorebirds. The birds near the shorelines in the mud regions. They have evolved this long neck long legs. Long legs in the wading birds have evolved, and they are passed through generations due to stretching their body. These long necks will keep the birds dry in the mud regions near the shorelines. So to keep themselves dry from the muddy regions in the shorelines, they have started to develop this long legs by stretching their body to keep themselves dry. Flamingos, we can take the example. Wading birds, flamingos, they'll have the long legs. Then loss of limbs in snakes. The modern snakes have lost their limbs because of its disuse. Then reduced eyes in moles. Moles are the rat-like animals. Rat-like animals have lost their eyes or reduced their eyes because they are vestigial. The vestigial eyes in moles is due to gradual reduction from disuse, as they are not using the eyes, the rat-like animals. We can see the gradual reduction of the vestigial eyes in the rats, moles. So next we have is next theory. So the next theory what we are going to study is Neo-Lamarckism. This is also explaining about the evolution, which is due to the result of the environmental factors or the habits of organisms. The evolution may be resulted from the interaction of the organisms with the new environment, and related to the new environment, to adjust to the new environment, they adapt some features which is acquired by the organism, nothing but the acquired characters. And this concept of inheritance of acquired characters are explained in a better way by this theory, Neo-Lamarckism. Lamarckism theory was modified by Cope, Giat, Packard, Spencer, McBride as Neo-Lamarckism to make it acceptable, to explain the inheritance of acquired characters in a better way. Neo-Lamarckism was proposed. Next we have is theory of natural selection, nothing but the Darwinism. Robert Darwin, English naturalist, he has proposed this theory of natural selection in his book The Origin of Species, and this theory was also supported by different scientists like Alfred Russel Wallace. Theory of natural selection. This theory can be explained by the following points. The first one, variation among the living organisms. Variations are nothing but the differences. Differences occurring in the living organisms. Variation is a natural phenomenon, and in many ways one organism will differ from another organism, and we have already discussed no two organisms are exactly similar in our previous topic related to variations in this unit 3, genetics and evolution. The offsprings are similar to the parents, but they are not identical. The differences or variations exist in the organisms like color, height, shape. All these can be termed as variations. So we see variations in the organism. Different color eye in humans can be taken as the example of variation. The differences in the color of eye in humans is the example of the variation. Next, we have increase in the rate of multiplication. So every organism is multiplying. If a population is getting doubled in 1 year, then the next year, the following year, it will become quadruple and so on. The population is increasing. So we see an increase in the rate of multiplication of the particular species in a population. Struggle for existence. So when there is competition for food, shelter in organisms, the number of offsprings produced by many organisms, as you know, is more. Offsprings are produced more every year, then there will be competition for food and shelter among individuals, and this will result in struggle for existence, for shelter, for food. So this struggle will result in mortality rate, increase in mortality rate. So this struggle for existence will be developed in the organisms due to competition for food or shelter among the living organisms due to increase in the rate of multiplication of population. Then we have differential survival. So differential survival, this process is nothing but this survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is explained by Darwin. The less fit individuals will be eliminated by the nature, that is nothing but the natural selection, and the individual with more advantageous characters can survive the struggle for food, shelter, and they will reproduce and they will pass this character to their offsprings. So this process is the natural selection, survival of the fittest. The less fit individuals will be eliminated by the nature, and the organisms with more advantageous characters will be surviving and reproducing, and they will be passing the good characters to the offsprings. This is nothing but the differential survival explained by Darwinism. Next we have heritability of variations. Heritability of variations. The heritable traits or the characters will be passed on to the next generation. The successful variations will be passed on to the offsprings to the next generation in a consistent manner is nothing but the heritability of variations. Transmission of the successful characters or traits from one generation to the next generation is heritability of variations. The successful variations or changes or characters will be passed on to the next generation is nothing but the heritability of variations. Next we have is Neo-Darwinism, modern synthetic theory. This theory will also explain about the evolution from the combination of Darwinian evolution and the Mendelian genetics. This theory is also called as the Neo-Darwinian theory, and this was proposed by Dobzhansky, Fisher, Ernst Mayr in the year 1930. This is explaining about the evolution due to the natural selection. Just now we have discussed about the Darwinism. Natural selection, changes in the chromosome number and structure. Next we have evidences of evolution. The proof of the evolution. Many evidences says that the first organisms that appeared on the earth was single cell, and this single cell was first formed or originated in water. So the evidences of evolution are mentioned here by these following points, that is evidence from fossils. The remains of the dead animals and plants are called fossils. The remains of the dead animals and plants are nothing but the fossils. And the study of fossils, we call it as paleontology. So study of fossils, it will tell us about the evolution which has taken place from simple to complex form in a gradual manner. The existence of the extinct species, the species which are extinct now. The extinct forms were different from the present form of organisms which are living on the earth. So study of fossils is the evolution, is related to the evolution, and it is the evidence which is telling us about the extinct form of organisms and the different organisms that lived in our history. different periods of history in past, like dinosaurs. Archaeopteryx. This is the oldest known fossil. It has some resemblance with the birds and the dinosaurs, and we commonly call it as reptile bird. Unlike the birds, this will have full set of teeth, and it is the connecting link between the reptiles and the birds. And this Archaeopteryx features have proved that birds have evolved from the animals like reptiles. Then we have evidence from comparative morphology and anatomy. Morphology is nothing but the study of external structures. Morphology is study of external characters, while the anatomy is study of internal characters, internal structures. So this evidence from morphological and anatomical studies is also related to the evolution, which is including this first one, homologous and analogous organs. Organs that are similar in morphology, structure and origin, but they are performing different functions. We are calling it as homologous organs, and the analogous organs are the organs that have similar function but have dissimilar structure. Example of analogous organs we can take is wings of the butterfly and wings of a bird. An example of homologous organs, we can take it as flipper of whale or the wings of bat, hands of man. The basic structure is same, but function is different in all these organisms. Next we have vestigial organs. Some structures are functionless in the body. They are vestigial in the bodies of organisms. We are calling them as vestigial organs, like vermiform appendix, the vestigial structure in humans, and the tailbone in the humans is also the vestigial structure. Then we have evidence from embryo. Embryo is a structure which is developing from the zygote. Further development of the zygote will result in new offsprings will be developed from the zygote or the embryos. Some homologous structures we can see only in the embryonic stage. Example, we can take the embryos of all the vertebrates will have gill slits. Tails will be present only during the developmental stages, early developmental stages, and the embryonic tail in humans. All these are the example related to evidence from the embryo. So thank you students. We'll continue with Unit 3 in our next session.